Hello, everybody. My name is Douglas Arnold Armstrong of Head Hunter here at Happy Texas Reviews. Thank you if you guys are watching the live stream. If you guys are just watching after the stream ends, thank you guys also so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, join up as a group member if you have not already. Let other people know that Happy Texas Reviews is here on Facebook, completely free and open to the public. If you guys do decide to join up as a group member, if you haven't already, you guys just get instant notifications of when the live streams are happening and other cool stuff. So in today's review, we are of course talking about Fear the Walking Dead, the complete fourth season. This was torturous, to say the least, to have to watch. This season is the very definition of why I do not watch The Walking Dead show. I like Fear the Walking Dead, seasons 1, 2, and 3. But this one has so many problems. There's some good things with this season. But in general, this season was bad. I don't know if you guys see the whole picture. Get my fingers out of the way. This season is bad. I don't understand how they went from something being experimental with season 1 to being thrown into some political stuff, and they did the whole season 2 stuff, the boat traveling and just constantly traveling around and whatnot. Then they finally found their footing in season 3, where they're focusing mostly on military base or a ranch or a dam. And then with season 4, for whatever reason, with the first episode, everything that we have come to expect from this show, from Fear the Walking Dead, from the past 3 seasons, for whatever reason, they throw it all out the window and they're like, let's just do a really quiet, soft reboot. Yes, we're going to acknowledge that the past 3 seasons existed, but we're going to introduce so many new characters, so many new plot lines, so many new quote-unquote villains, and stuff just is going to go crazy wild, and you're going to be in such for a treat, and you're going to like it. Oh, and let's also add a cherry on the top. We're going to bring back Morgan. We're going to have a crossover event, because those are always an amazing thing to do in movies and TV shows, having a crossover event. They're not. I hate crossover events, especially for a character like Morgan. When they announced that this was going to happen in season 4 when it came out last year, I didn't care. I didn't care that Morgan was crossing over from The Walking Dead show and coming to Fear the Walking Dead. Didn't care. And the more people talked about it, the more I started to think about something of why people cared about it so much. It's not so much that people care about it. It's that so much that people were like, there's no need for a crossover event. Why can't we have just new characters in the Walking Dead universe and in Fear the Walking Dead universe? Why can't we just have a new character? Why do they have to have a crossover event? It shows that they're lazy and they can't come up with a new character to fill the role that Morgan is ending up to being played. And honestly, Morgan in this season doesn't do really much of anything that's surprising, shocking, awe-inspiring. There's nothing in this season that Morgan does that makes me feel like he was justified to be in this season. And I know he's coming back for season 5 because he survives this season. I just don't understand the purpose of it, except for political and religious and racial agendas being thrown into here. Because I guess having one black guy in this show isn't enough. We need to have 2. So I'm going to run through the positives and then get into the negatives. So for the positives, there's a lot of good subtle jokes in this show. This season does have a good full running 16 episodes. Not all of them are amazing. I'd say about 75% of them are decent to garbage, and then the other 25% are actually good because there's actually shit that happens and you feel like you care. The character Ophelia finally returns at last. If you guys remember, in season 3, she ended up basically like vanishing at the very start of season 3. And then for the rest of season 3, we really didn't get to see Ophelia at all. She finally returns somehow at last in this season, so that was nice. Alicia ends up becoming basically the group leader in this season. Nick and Madison both die. I'll get to that later. But Alicia, the daughter of Madison and the brother of Nick, she's the only person left alive. She is basically the group leader, and she's the last cast member besides Victor Strand from season 1 that's left. So Victor Strand and Alicia are the two people that are left alive currently in this season and show that started off the show. Everyone else that's in this season is brand new, or they've only been around since season 2. So they're not like a main starting cast member that's been around since the beginning. Only Victor and Alicia are left. Which I'm kind of curious and worried that in season 5 they're going to kill Victor and Alicia, and that's how they're going to end the show, is they kill them off and then everyone just splits off or something. I love the cowboy sharpshooter John in the show, and the camera lady that has the armored machine gun vehicle, aka the SWAT thing, and her name's Al. Really liked her character. She's kind of an onion throughout the season. We're peeling away at her and figuring out who she really is and her emotions and, you know, what does she believe in and whatnot. And it was really cool to see that. This season focuses more on human groups versus human groups rather than humans just trying to kill zombies, which is something that I know The Walking Dead does a lot of. So that's kind of interesting to see them kind of start sprinkling that into the Fear the Walking Dead, especially for season 4. That was really nice. Madison finally. I was so happy with this. You guys know that if you watch the past 3 reviews for the past 3 seasons of Fear the Walking Dead, that this has been something that's always pissed me off about Madison, is that at long last, Madison is finally okay with her children killing zombies and other evil humans that are trying to do them harm. But she's still not okay with Madison having her children kill good people, which is a good thing. I'm just saying, Madison, I think, finally let go. She's like, yeah, okay, you go ahead. Kill some zombies and kill some bad guys that try to kill us. Like, please go ahead, because I can't keep doing this forever. I've been doing it for 3 years or so. I'm like, thank God you got over yourself, lady. This show also shows that humans are more dangerous than zombies in the apocalypse, which is a good thing. You know, if there was ever a zombie apocalypse, you know, zombies aren't always the biggest threat. Humans are, because of how they can react. This isn't necessarily a negative thing. It can be a negative and a positive, but there's a lot of symbolic stuff that happens in this season and requires you to have a lot of multiple viewings, possibly, because certain scenes and episodes just have so much symbolism and whatnot. Especially like the last episode, I watched it 3 times because there's like little hints and whatnot of what was happening before it actually happens. And I was like, that was really cool. The season also, I don't know why, but it has a lack of color. There's like very little color. Everything's like dark, black and gray and browns. And I'm like, put some life into this show. It's so dreary. I'm like, even the past 3 seasons, even though it's about a zombie apocalypse and whatnot, and everyone trying to survive in it, there was some color and whatnot, and you could feel like there was a slight chance of hope in this season until like the very like last episode. There's like, it's all really dark and gray and just depressing to watch, and you're like, don't watch this on a rainy day. Another thing is there's really no villains or major threats in this season, unlike in like season 3. This season for season 4 is very boring and predictable at times. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I'm talking positives. I'm talking positives. I'm sorry. Okay. My mom, brother, and I, we all love the character John, the sharpshooter. He's just a badass sharpshooter. I really enjoyed him. I'm getting back to the positives, so I lost track. Sorry. I love the episode where Alicia and this new character called Laura, which is actually Naomi, which is actually June. They're together in a water park and they're killing zombies. I really enjoyed that episode. I thought it was really cool. I love the love story between John and Laura, which is actually June in the backstory episode. Also, the fact that John was using water to generate electricity through his water powered generators was a very smart idea, and I like that. How they actually threw some smartness into the show, and they're like, yeah, you can actually do stuff like this. The funniest joke in the whole season, honestly, has to be John's fish alarm clock. It was so funny. Just YouTube John's fish alarm clock, and you'll find it on YouTube. It's hilarious. John's love, Naomi / June / Laura, being a nurse, and her failing to prevent and save her daughter from turning into a zombie. That whole scene and episode was really shaking to the core, for me at least. June ends up, revealing that she's a member of the bad guy group called the Vultures in the first half of the season. That was really a cool surprise reveal, and I didn't think that was actually going to happen. So I was surprised a little bit in this season. I also like the fact that Madison and Al end up meeting in the past before the events of the stadium in this season. It was really cool to see that. What else? I like the fact that Claire ends up being forgiven by Alicia, and they end up bonding as sisters after the fact that Claire kills Alicia's brother Nick and is responsible for Madison's death, basically. That's a very good thing. We do get a backstory of a crazy black woman, and she kind of is like a semi-villain for the second half of season 4. She doesn't really do anything. She's just a crazy old woman, and she's like, I lost my father, no one helped me, so if you help anybody, then you're weak and you're not strong, and so I need to make you all strong. And I'm like, you're just crazy. Then lastly, for positives, the season does end up ending with a small amount of hope, and it does a very okay job, I guess, setting up for season 5. It doesn't really have a big cliffhanger. It's like what's going to come with season 5 when they do it. So that was really cool and interesting. And then for the negatives, Nick and Madison both end up dying in this season. Nick, the actor who plays Nick, he just wanted to leave the show, and he was done with it, and he wanted to move on with other stuff in his career, which is perfectly fine. He dies in the 3rd episode, just randomly, and I'm just like, okay, so the person that basically starts off the entire series of Fear the Walking Dead dies. It's just like what they did with I can't remember his name, Rick, in the Walking Dead show. Like, if you kill off the person that starts off the show and is like the center focus and the main purpose of the show, why is your show still going on? There's really no point to it at that time. And then, of course, Madison, she ends up dying, and there's actually a reason that she dies. She dies an honorable death to save her kids and friends from being killed by zombies. So that was... Madison's death was more of an impact to me than Nick's was. When Nick died, I was like, wait, what? What? Nick's death wasn't, like, shocking. It was more like it was shocking and a surprise, but I'm just like, I didn't have the same emotional impact as Madison dying. There is a lot of time jumping around in this season. There's a big time jump gap between the end of season 3 and the beginning of season 4, which leaves out a lot of events to explain of how people are where they are in season 4, and it's never explained. And so, like, while I was watching this myself and with my brother and my mom, we're all looking at each other asking, like, did we miss an episode? There's certain stuff in the beginning part of season 4 that felt like they cut stuff out because of runtime, and there's stuff that's just told to you but never shown, and you're like, okay, so I guess we're here now, and that happened, so that's why they're here. But it doesn't feel, put together correctly. Like someone didn't know how to edit the episodes properly sometimes. Like I said, there's a lot of time jumping and location jumping, which leads to a lot of confusing plots at times. You're really confused of, like, if you're in the past, present, or future. Covered that. Very boring, predictable. For the time jumping, there's tons. I can't express this enough. There's tons of time jumping. There's 3 timelines going on for the first 8 episodes of this season. For the first half of season 4, there are 3 timelines, and all three timelines are happening at the same time. So they're shown to you at the same time. So you've got the past, the present, and the future all being told at once, which is extremely confusing to me, my brother, my mom, and everyone else. And it's just, we ended up having to rewatch the first half of season 4 twice to understand what was going on. Because, like, even though that Nick dies in episode 3 of this season, he is still around for the next for the next 5 episodes, because it's shown for the next 5 episodes. It shows you what leads up to him actually getting to where he is in episode 3, where he dies. It's just, it causes you to have to constantly connect the dots and whatnot, and it's really aggravating. And it's something I don't want in a Walking Dead show. I don't want that with zombies. Also, Laura and Naomi, her actual name is June. The show decided to keep changing her name of her character constantly for the first half of the season, and it was just aggravating. And I was so confused. I'm like, I thought this person's name was Naomi. Now it's Laura. Now it's June. What's her name so I can remember and actually try to care about this person? Also, there is a hurricane in the second half of this season, and it was funny because the zombies are getting swept away by this hurricane, and so I finally figured out where the meme for Zombie NATO comes from. Oh, that episode was something special. Overall, guys, Fear the Walking Dead season 4, this season, it's not, extremely bad, but when I want to recommend watching Fear the Walking Dead, honestly, this is the first season that I will actually say watch once, and that's about it. When it comes to me watching all of these again in the future, with somebody or just by myself or whatnot, honestly, I will skip season 4. You only need to watch it like once or twice all the way through, and then you've got the basic understanding. It's not that it's bad, it's just not enjoyable to watch consistently. I enjoy watching Fear the Walking Dead seasons 1 through 3 constantly. Really good, TV. Just season 4 just doesn't have it, and it's like, even right now that I've watched all 16 episodes twice, minimum. There's some I've watched 3 times just because I really enjoyed them. But there's, in general, no reason or interest for me to rewatch this season again. And honestly, there's so many boring events that take place, and I'm like, I don't remember a lot of what happens. I remember the basic stuff. Nick Madison dies, but it's like, I really could care less about a lot of what happened in this season. With that, guys, I'm going to give Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 a 6 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good one.